Hi, welcome back to my channel, where today we will be discussing about the World Wars. So I hope you enjoy the video, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's all enjoy. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing about the World Wars, which I have made a series into called The Beginning of Years of Hell. Before we get started on this, I would just like to say that I do not respect or honor any of the following dictators in this, but I do study about them so I can teach you. With that aside, let's begin. Known dictators of the World Wars. Right here, I'm going to tell you about all the dictators. So, for starters, we have Adolf Hitler. Pretty much everybody knows about him and what he's done to the world. And what he did to the Jews and what he wanted in his goal. Benito Mussolini. He was the Italian dictator. He joined off with Adolf Hitler and all the other Axis forces. Sorry, I'm not fluent in this language, so this man's name, from what I can pronounce, is Emperor Hinton, or Hiront. I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry, but he was the Emperor of Japan during the World Wars, and he also signed the Axis Pact. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin was another dictator, but Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin were friends, but later on was betrayed by Adolf Hitler. So you'll learn about that in this video. Aside from Benito and the Emperor of Japan, we're going to learn about Adolf Hitler today. So, what he did was, sorry about that. This is one of the many things he did to the Jews. If you were a Jew and you openly admitted you're a Jew, he would either, or in the beginning, they would just put wristbands on you that had the Star of David on it that would make you subhuman, if you will. And later on, they started putting all the Jews into concentration camps. A concentration camp is where they're just put you in the most horrible conditions. Like this man right here has been, all of them here look like they haven't eaten in days, and if so, haven't eaten anything that would let them have their body back how it was. They were often worked to death, little rest, but also at times they would be guinea pigs for experiments. For chemical weapons and tortures and everything. He would say, the Germans or the Nazis would say, you smell, take a shower. And when you would take a shower, you would, either pull or twist the knob and gas would come out. So, that was just one of the many conditions that would happen. The Nazi flag. This is one of the many things that symbolized a Nazi. If you see this on a soldier, or if you saw it on a building, it was their territory. It was their own, if you will. This is the flag that they would raise in victory into battle. It represented in their eyes strength and honor, and above all, dominancy. So, if you ever wondered what the flag was made for, now you know. Last, if you see pictures like this, it makes him look like a hero. Like he's the hero of the world. That's what the nation of Germany was shown. He was a hero to all of them. And if you were a kid growing up and you went to school, you would see a lot of pictures in the halls and in classrooms, along with a bunch of other German officers and German generals. So now you know, like a little brief thing of what he done in his ruling. how Hitler began. Hitler was born in a farm and raised on a farm with a dad and a mother, and had brothers and sisters. I'm not going to really go into detail with that because they're not Hitler himself. So, moving on. He wanted to become an artist when he was in his teens and young adult, but his art pretty much sucked, and the professors or artists and teachers rejected him in every way. And for about 3 years of his life, he was homeless. But in the time of when Germany was beat, he was a very well-made motivational speaker. He was amazing at speaking. He turned about a good crowd of 30 people and told them, and those crowd of 30 people told another crowd of 30 people, and that crowd of 30 people told another crowd of 100, and it all just kept going. And they saw this man as a hero, and in some cases a savior. And they would call him the Führer, or the Führer. I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. Which basically meant Lord. So, that's another way. And after years, he gained military access, as in, he formed a militia, if you would say, and that started becoming of the army, and the military of the Nazis. And as you can see, you see a lot of officers and soldiers here, along with civilians, parading him. So, that's how Hitler began. Or at least a summarization of how he began. If you see here, this is a map of basically what Nazi controlled, or what the Nazis controlled. But in World War I, he controlled Rhineland, Australia, and Czechoslovakia. Oh god, man, I'm never gonna hear the end of this in the comments. Czechoslovakia. Yeah, let's do that, even though I know that's not how you pronounce it. That was just in World War I. That is not as much as what he did in World War II. In World War II, he conquered, with the help of the Italians and everybody else, the Netherlands, Belgium, I know I can't pronounce this either, Luxembourg, I'm just gonna say that, France, Denmark, Yugoslavia, Greece, Norway, and Western Poland. I'm not good with those Russian names. But he controlled all of that. With Allied forces stretched over to Japan and everywhere, it was hard to keep up with it. But in that time, Adolf Hitler wanted more of Russia, because when they signed the pact, Stalin said he can have this part of Russia, or at least Russia said they can have this part of Russia, and they were good with that. But Hitler wanted more, so let me just pause here and let me show you. 1 second. Welcome back. Here I'm going to show you what happened when Hitler wanted more of Russia. He started attacking all of the outer rim parts, and which assumed victory. But when the Battle of Strangla, and that's not enough, again, that's not how you pronounce it, but again, I'm not good at Russian pronunciations. When they were trying to invade here, sorry, I'm not going to pronounce the name again, they stranded the Russian soldiers, and just a hard time for the Russian soldiers. But while with that, the Russian soldiers here were kind of a distraction for the Nazis. I'm going to yellow, by the way, red is Nazis and yellow is Soviets. The Soviets crossed from behind. Oh, sorry, wrong color. Okay, sorry, something's going wrong here. This isn't supposed to happen. Okay, well, right here. Okay, here we go. Right here, they crossed from the river and then intercepted. They would put artillery units here, and then when the the Nazis were weak, they put on a full-on assault to capture, or at the time was to kill, every soldier, while the Russians here would box them in. So all of the soldiers, the Nazi soldiers, were trapped. And that was the first time that they ordered a surrender. The Nazis said, "We surrender." So yes, I'm going to go back to the presentation. See, and welcome back. Here, this is the end of Hitler's reign. When Berlin was falling to the Russians and German soldiers were exhausted, Hitler, for his last place to live, was a bunker. And with Stalin marching down his street, well, not Stalin personally, but the Russians coming down the street, Hitler had no other way of escaping. And so resulted with a short summary of this. So, in summary of all of this, Hitler was so far up there. He was in his prime. He had so much power, but it all went away. So that just goes to show, even if you may think you're the greatest superpower, you can always fall. So that will do it for the Hitler side of the dictatorship series that I'm doing here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the series, please like and subscribe for more, and stay tuned in for more episodes. And I'm sorry for the brief stuttering. Thank you, and goodbye.